Welcome to Divine Femme TV. This is another channeled message for the Divine Feminine Collective. So, go ahead and just take what resonates. There's so much energy coming through right now that needs an outlet. So, I went ahead and hit record and we'll see what comes out. I already have some kind of a clue, but it's probably going to take a bunch of twists and turns. So, just take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you want to dive deeper, I will link the playlist below in the description and also at the end of this recording. Before we dive into this, I do want to say that this particular playlist you're on, if you're listening to this on YouTube, is repurposed to my podcast, which is The Calling Uncensored. And I'm saying that just because there's so many women recently that have been reaching out to me that have been following the podcast for years and getting so much value. So if you're listening to this playlist and it does resonate, I encourage you to subscribe to the Calling Uncensored podcast. There's over, at the time of this recording, I think 245 episodes. So obviously you're going to find this playlist on the podcast because I do repurpose this playlist over there. But you're going to find so many more episodes to tune into. And there's a lot around the spiritual awakening process, but also stepping into divine service and answering the call to be a leader and a visionary of New Earth and what that actually means and what that entails, and even tips on how to grow your spiritual business and stuff like that. So go ahead and check out the Calling Uncensored podcast if you're listening to this on YouTube and you haven't yet already. I would love to hear from you if you're resonating with this playlist or the podcast. It was so fun. I think I had like 5 women reach out within the last 30 days on Instagram, letting me know that they've been following my podcast for years and getting so much value. So it's always fun to place a name to the souls that you know that you're impacting and place a face, right? So if you are getting value from this, follow me on Instagram, send me a message. I would love to connect. You can find me over there at Spiritual CEO. Okay, so let's dive into the message. The message that's coming through is very timely and timeless as always. Right now, this is being recorded on April 2nd, 2025. So we just entered the spring equinox. We just had, massive eclipse energy, which we are still in. There's just so much momentum for the Divine Feminine Collective that has been doing the work. And the message that's coming through right before I hit record is welcome to your new life. You have shifted timelines. And here's how you know you've shifted timelines. There's been a lot of restriction leading up to this point, meaning you've been feeling very constricted in different areas of your life. You've been feeling the pinch, and that may be in relationships and finance, with your career. Your success in general, from a worldly standpoint, has been stalled. And the reason is because you were never meant to be successful by egoic means. Okay, so your soul has chosen a very not only tumultuous journey, because you really like stacked all of your karma up in this lifetime, and you've been burning through it early on. You've really stacked your karma and front loaded it in this lifetime, but you've also chosen a very sacred path. And so all of the stagnation, all of the perceived failures, or just feeling like you're just constantly getting the rug pulled out from under you, and all of the, the collapse, the destruction, the tower moments, the dark night of the soul, all of that is because your soul chose this path of service, a very sacred path with a very specific divine calling to lead New Earth. And all of that, especially the last 12, 13, 14, 15 years, that's who this message is for. It's, if you're resonating with this, you've been going through this cycle for a long time, and this has been preparing you. This has been a purification process. So this initiation phase is complete. I need you to hear this, and not with your mental capacities. I need you to feel this in your heart, in your body. So go ahead and close your eyes if it's safe to do so, and take a couple of deep breaths to connect with your heart space. everything you've gone through, all of the upheaval, all of the tumultuous setbacks, the rug getting pulled out from under you, the toxic cycles of relationships, all of it, the financial collapse, the business failures, the health crisis, like everything that's continuously brought you to your knees and has made you feel like you're just never going to be able to catch a break in this lifetime. This was purposeful and by intention at a soul level. You have been purifying. God, the divine that lives within you, has been preparing you for your calling, for your service to humanity, which is to be fully embodied in the light and love that you are, fully embodied in your divinity. This is why material success or any of the standard ways of measuring success, when you look outside of yourself and you look at friends or family or people you've grown up with or just people in your community, and you wonder, like, what the actual F is going on here? Why can't you catch a break? It is not because you're not talented. It is not because you are not, smart. It is not because you're lazy. It is not because you are a procrastinator. It is not because, you're not worthy. It is not because you're somehow innately just not meant to create the life of your dreams or have stability, abundance, prosperity in your life. It is none of that. It's because you are one of the chosen ones. And I don't even really like to use that term because it kind of makes it seem as if you're special or above others, which is not the case. But I'm just going to call it as it is. You chose a very specific purpose for being here. You chose a very specific path. And it was a tumultuous one. It was meant to bring you to your knees. It was meant to bring you through the shadows and the deep dark nights of the soul and the inner alchemy and transformation that takes place in order for you to shine the light on your shadows and come into wholeness of being, fully unified in your feminine and masculine, fully unified in your light and your dark, fully unified as the one. You are one with the source of all creation, and fully embodying that now is this next stage. So, initiation complete. Welcome to your new life. Welcome to New Earth. Any place where fear-based consciousness is lingering in your field will be brought to your attention and will be very uncomfortable moving forward, because you are here as a light bringer and a way shower of a new paradigm. You are not meant to suffer. You are not meant to live in lack. You are not meant to settle or live in mediocrity. You were meant to cultivate a deep resilience and inner strength and unwavering faith and conviction in the truth of your being and the truth of who you are, which is unshakable and bulletproof. You are everything that you've ever been seeking, and now it's time to fully embody it. So any place that you're still seeking outside of yourself and seeking external validation is going to bring you suffering. I'm just going to call it as it is. That's why it's called the Calling Uncensored podcast, which is where this is also being repurposed. And I welcome you to check that out if this is resonating. What is being asked of you now is to fully embody your divinity, the divine presence that you are, which only happens in the now moment through your heart space, which is the portal to all of creation. And I'm going to be speaking a lot more about this in the episodes to come. Divine feminine manifestation, becoming the divine creatrix of your life. This is all done through the present moment of now, through your heart space as the portal. You are the portal. You are the portal. You are the source. And it's time to fully embody that. Now, many divine feminines tuning into this have shifted into a higher timeline, and some may be still on that path of purification, right? The deep, cycles of death and rebirth and the inner alchemy that's taking place. And here's how you'll know if you have met your twin flame, for example, and they have been a catalyst to your spiritual awakening, which I know many of you that tune in here, that is the case, you will be completely neutral around any expectations or outcomes with your twin flame. That's a clear sign that you've shifted. You will be completely neutral. So if you're still pining for your twin flame and trying to figure out what's going on that journey and trying to send healing energy to them or manifest them back in, or you're trying to figure out if they're coming back or when or whatever, you have not shifted yet. You're still seeking external validation outside of yourself. You're still seeking the love outside of yourself. So this is one clear sign that you've already shifted, is when you become neutral, meaning you don't care and you don't not care. You're neutral. You're not pushing away anything, but you're also not chasing anything. You're completely neutral on the topic of your twin flame. The other clear sign is there will be a sense of deep peace within you, despite what's happening in the external world. So you may have certain areas of your life that are still recalibrating to your new inner reality, and there may be little threads of fear-based consciousness popping up, and you are able to move through it and alchemize it and see it for what it is from a place of inner peace and calmness. Like, old things that used to trigger you very deeply at your core no longer do. So you've been unhooking. I use this a lot inside Embody the Empress, this phrase. You've been unhooking yourself from the fear-based consciousness, not only on a mental level, but also on an emotional level. And things that used to trigger you just no longer do. And that's just like, that's what happens, like, as you're shifting into your new timeline, because you can't be fully embodied in your new earth frequency if you are operating from fear-based consciousness. And so anything that's popping up, these little threads of fear-based consciousness, of unworthiness or lack or anything like that, may be popping up, but they're no longer some big deal to you anymore. You are operating from such a place of higher consciousness and presence that you're able to just unhook from them and move on. The other clear sign is that your creativity has gone through the roof. I know this is not talked about a lot, but this is really coming into full embodiment with not only your light, but your dark feminine essence and your creativity, which is rooted in your sacral chakra, which is all about embodying your dark feminine essence, your magnetism. This has completely skyrocketed because so much energy has been freed up that you're no longer focusing, for example, on fear-based narratives. All of this energy is freed up and is flowing through your chakra system. The Kundalini energy is flowing very freely, and Kundalini energy is creative by nature. And so this creativity needs an outlet. This is life force energy, creation energy, sacred sexual energy, which is ultimately what creation energy is. It's sexual energy. It's sacred sexual energy that comes from you being fully embodied in your sacral chakra. And so this has been completely activated and is online now for you. Another clear sign is you're completely on board with your mission, and your purpose is your highest priority. It's a complete devotion to your calling. And when you're going through the throes of purification and dark night of the soul, there's a phase of the journey where you completely put all of that on the back burner, where there's a phase of the journey even where you don't even believe that your purpose is a thing anymore, that you even have a soul calling anymore. Like, there's this void experience that you go through where everything lacks meaning. This is part of awakening that many experience as they're awakening their heart center, and the egoic consciousness is dissolving. The egoic personal will is dissolving. But when you're entering this new timeline and you're shifting, everything is brought back and way more powerful than before. and way more pure than before because it's no longer being distorted through your egoic personal will. There's a complete surrendering to the divine will within you, and to be able to create from this place, from a place of non-attachment to how it's going to unfold. And as you open up and surrender to this, this is where divine feminine manifestation really becomes your new experience, where you're just flowing. You're flowing through life, living from presence, living from your divine presence, knowing on a soul core level that you are fully not only supported, guided, and protected on this journey, but you are also one with all that is. You are the source of it, and so you are playing now. So that's the other sign, is there's a calling within to play and have fun, and this is very creative energy. It's one of the highest frequencies, is to be playing and having fun and being joyful in your days as you create, right? This is all just naturally flowing through you because you have opened up and purified and surrendered on this journey. So this message just wanted to come through, that if you are at this phase where you know you have completed this initiation, this is something that you already know. What is being asked of you now is to fully embody this unapologetically. All of your magic, all of your divine gifts, the love that you are, the abundance that you are, fully embody this. This is your divine path to be a living, walking, talking example of divinity in form. Fully, fully human, not dismissing our humanity and our human experience, but simultaneously fully divine. This is the ultimate union within, right? This journey, you will be unifying your feminine and masculine. You will be unifying your inner light and your dark feminine. You will be unifying the form and the formless. You are both. You are the form and you are the formless. You are the one source of all of creation. And when you are operating from this, you become the divine creatrix. You begin collapsing time and bending reality to the divine vision that pours through you. Your egoic mind has taken a back seat, and the mind comes on board to support the heart at this phase. So there will be action, there will be, people guided to you to support you on your journey. There will be steps to take, but they will all be divinely guided action steps to take that will flow to you intuitively, so you'll know, and they will also be very synchronistic. So that's the other sign, is that synchronicity has gone through the roof for you. Not just angel numbers, but you are seeing all of the signs and synchronicities of the abundance and the love and the support and the protection and everything popping into your experience. So it's time to fully embody it. The message here is your past is your past is your past. It doesn't exist, and neither does the future. The only moment you have is right now. And when you fully live in the now, meaning you're detached from the dualistic mind that wants to keep you always bouncing back and forth between the past and the future, and instead you come home to your heart and you wake down into your heart, right? It's like a waking down, because you're embodying this in your body, embodiment, right? You're waking down and embodying the divine presence that you are, and living from that in the now, which is living from your sacred heart, your neutral point, which is the access portal, gateway, whatever words you want to use, to all of creation. This is not going to be conceptually understood. It can only be experienced and embodied. So, congratulations. Welcome to your new life. Welcome to New Earth. It is an honor and a privilege to be rising alongside of you. And I'm getting full body chills right now. The message is coming through is, hold on, buckle up, because it's going to get wild. It's going to get wild. And to the degree that you're willing to let go and release and have fun and follow your joy and follow your fun and follow your curiosity, and release and the need to figure it out, and release more and more and surrender more and more and live in the flow and in the fun of it in every single precious moment. Every single precious moment is a moment for you to be here now, in this moment. The more you live here from presence now as the truth of who you are, which is a divinely worthy being, which is one with all of it, you are the walking, talking transmuter of your life. And the world will bend and shift to meet your divine vision. If you're still going through the throes of transformation and inner alchemy and the purification initiation, just know that this is part of it. This is part of it that you can't escape. And there will come a day on this journey where you look back and you see why everything had to play out the way it did, because it all brought you to this present moment of now where you were fully embodied in your divinity, in your divine power. You don't have to do it alone. There are parts of this journey where you will be guided into solitude and isolation in order to come home to yourself, which is ultimately the only thing I'm doing in any of my programs, is helping you come home to the truth of who you are. You don't have to do it alone, though. If you do want support and someone to help shine a light, that was very useful for me on my journey. You can join us inside Embody the Empress. I would love to have you. This is my Divine Feminine Awakening and Embodiment membership. It's a no-brainer. You can get 12-month access, and you end up getting 2 months free when you do it that way. Or you can join on a month-to-month basis. And there's weekly support calls every Saturday. So I will link that in the description box below, or in the show notes if you're listening to this on the podcast. I also have Rise Sister Rise if you are feeling called to really step into your sacred feminine leadership. This is a 13-week live immersion. This is 13 weeks of live transmissions. It's completely organic. It's completely channeled activations and shadow work to really unleash your divine magic and fully step into your power as a new earth way shower. So if that's resonating with you, I will link that. And if you know you have shifted and you are ready to play in the quantum in a new paradigm of 5D business beyond the matrix, and you want support in that, then the Goddess Standard would be perfect for you. That's a whole vibe. I'll link that wherever you're listening to this, in the show notes or in the description box. You're welcome to check it out. That is a full year of mentorship where we bridge sacred femininity, divine law, and full divine feminine embodiment to really play with reality and create the life of your dreams. So if you have any questions, then go ahead and shoot me a DM on Instagram at Spiritual CEO. And until next time, I hope this finds you well. Namaste.